2025 lessons and 2026 plans. I am Pratna, and you're listening to Rebel with a Purpose. And in today's episode, I'm actually taking you deep into my 2025, all the millions of mistakes I made and what I've learned from them so that you don't make the same mistakes. Learn from my lived experience and take away the gold so that your 2026 is the year you soar to. Let's claim it. Let's get into this. A lot of what happened in 2025 was taking me back to foundations. A lot of what happened showed me that I need to go back to the basics because this year I realized that I'm actually quite impatient. Every time something didn't work for me in business, I wanted to find answers within days. I didn't give a strategy enough time. I didn't give a strategy months before I could see it work for me. And time is everything. You need to do things consistently for days, for months, for it to work for you. Which is why I think the biggest learning, and I think the number one learning from 2025 for me was going back to the most basic foundational strategies and energetics and actually seeing it work all the way through rather than thinking there's something wrong with me. Because every time something doesn't go according to the plan, the first thought in our mind is that, what's wrong with me? Why is this not working? What am I doing wrong? And that thought is a shameful one. That thought kind of puts you into a spiral and starts making you feel like you're the problem, like you're broken. And because of that, I made a lot of investments this year that I can't say I'm very happy about, but it definitely taught me a lot. This year was a year of mistakes for me. When I made that investment, I made an investment in a healer thinking that there's something truly wrong with me because my energy is not attracting the abundance that I know I can attract. And I'm like, why? Why is this not working out? And that impatience made me think that I was broken, that I need to invest in an energy healer and I need to invest in a coach. And while investing in an energy healer or coach is great, investing because you think you're broken is wrong. Those are all the wrong reasons. Because before I invested, I literally remember thinking to myself, this will fix me, this will change something in my business, this will shift something. And that was also a guarantee I got from the other end. But I feel like that's not what I needed in the moment, which is what takes me to my second point, which is intuition. Listening to your intuition is everything. This year, my intuition has told me so many times no or yes, and I have listened sometimes, but I also haven't listened sometimes, and I've seen what that has brought for me. A lot of times, actually, the beginning of this year, I started off with a huge investment. It was New Year of 2024, right? So it was like the 1st of Jan 2025. I invested $3,700 in like 3 sessions with a multi-million dollar coach. And while I felt like this is a step in the right direction in the moment, later on, I was like, I don't know if this helped me. Because right after that investment, my business went into a dry spell. No clients, no abundance, no movement. And I was like, but I just invested and I just made shifts and I just learned these new things. And maybe that's the reason, right? Because I just made shifts and I need to see these shifts long enough. So it's all about knowing that things take time and having the patience to see something long enough rather than like going for the next strategy or going for the next support that you need. Working with one coach and working with that one strategy for long enough to see it work in your business, to see it work for you without giving up is literally the biggest lesson. And listening to your intuition, which is the second point, is is transformational. I am literally taking one of the biggest leaps in my life right now by listening to my intuition and moving to Bali in literally 4 weeks. I'm moving to Bali in 4 weeks. I don't know what this opportunity is going to bring me. I don't know what doors it's going to open for me. I don't know what doors it's going to close for me. But it was an intuitive calling. I knew it when I went there. I knew it when I was breathing the fresh air in Uluwatu. I just knew that this is a place I got to come back to for months and I got to do this soon because there's something here for me. And I don't know what that is. But that's the step in the direction of your intuition. And it could be brave, it could be scary. It's just about still taking the leap, even if it doesn't make all the logical sense in the moment. And so, number three is becoming really, really clear and known for one thing in your business. Going back to the foundations isn't something to be shameful for, because these foundations that help you get really clear on your dharma, help you get really clear on your offer, on who you want to work with, on how you want your coaching sessions to go, on how you want to feel every single morning is so important, because this is what's going to be your life for years. And of course, you can always pivot and you can always change your mind. But if you're not sure about it in the first place, if it doesn't feel intuitively aligned to you, like your niche, your offer, your purpose, or what you're moving towards does not feel intuitively aligned for you, then it's something to rethink right now. And if you're listening to this in 2025, then this is your sign to rethink this right now, so that you can go into 2026 with so much clarity and confidence and abundance in your mindset, knowing exactly what you want to be known for. Being known for something is a science. It's a very strategic move. It's a very smart move. I've read it in so many books. Naval Ravikant talks about specific knowledge so much in his books. What is specific knowledge? Specific knowledge is being known for one thing that you can do uniquely, that no one else can teach or coach the way you do it. And that's what makes it unique. That's your unique selling point. So getting clear on your specific knowledge, on your USP, on what makes you different is very important. But this starts internally. It's not about what's in the market and what gaps can I fill. I know a lot of people say this, and it's controversial to say that I don't believe in that. But I think it really is internal. It depends on what you feel the most called to do. It depends on your dharma, it depends on your soul's calling. So it really depends on what's most alive for you in this moment to talk about. If I asked you to go on stage right now and talk about a topic, what would you want to talk about? What feels the most alive for you? That's what you want to get known for. And getting known for something is your way of doing it, is your unique methodology. It's your terminologies, it's the names you use for your brand. All of that comes on the branding. I don't want to go too deep into that, because then the strategy comes in. And if you want to know more, just DM me and I'm more than happy to help you. Or we can get on a call and we can talk more about your brand and how to get more clear in that one thing that you want to be known for in 2026. Right? But that is something that 2025 reminded me of. It told me multiple times, go back to your basics, get known for one thing. There is no reason to try and do so many different things in your business. Do what's most alive and say no to what doesn't feel alive right now. And it's okay to say no to opportunities. It's okay to say no to people. It's okay to say no to clients. I've said no to a client. A client came to me ready to pay me $2,000. I just felt so misaligned. I knew in my body this is not going to end well. And I just did not want a bad client experience. I knew that she wasn't a right fit for this program. I knew her expectations weren't in the right place. And so I ended it in a very graceful, peaceful way without too much drama. It was very, very graceful and a very patient, peaceful way of saying, I just don't think this is the right fit for us. I'm so sorry. That's it. So saying no is super powerful, because you're telling the universe that you have higher standards, you know the kind of people you want to call in, you know the kind of energy that you're creating in the sacred container. My mastermind, my sisterhood is my little baby. I'm going to protect its energy no matter what. I'm going to make sure I call in the most empowered buyers and the most empowered women to create the sisterhood with me in 2026. And that one thing that I want to be known for in 2026 is Limitless Legacy Mastermind, which is my 6-month sisterhood. So that's what got really clear in 2025. Number 4 is that the more alive you feel, the more successful the strategy, but you got to see it long enough for it to be successful. When you feel alive doing something, you start focusing on the feeling of aliveness, and you stop asking, why is this not working? And you stop asking and comparing to other coaches on the platform where you see only successes and highlight reels. And then you stop asking, why is it not working? And you start instead focusing on the aliveness and focusing on how fun the process is. Because when the process is fun, you start then naturally detaching from the outcome. When you're really enjoying the process, you don't think about the outcome as much, because you're having a great time. And that's the whole point, is to have a great time while building this business, is to have so much fun, is to only choose strategies that feel alive for you because that is your way. And so there is no one way of doing business. Everyone does business differently. You can learn from a single coach and you can try it out, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? And so for me, I have always focused on what feels most alive and most clear for me in my body, because when it's clear in my head, I know I can talk about it more clearly, and I know my content becomes more clear and my messaging becomes more clear. So I like to have that clarity in my mind. So I like to have very simple strategies, scalable strategies that work for me in my business, that I know, okay, so this is what I'm doing. This is the funnel, and I know exactly how to call in more people through my content in this. So I just make it very easy for myself to understand, what funnel am I using in this moment? What am I selling in this period of time? Why am I obsessed with it? Why do I think it's the best way for my people to work with me in this period of time? So the more alive you feel, the more successful the strategy will be. Do not follow strategies that don't make you feel alive, that don't feel aligned to you. Next, thinking, why is this not working, never works. Like when you say, why is this not working, you are actually emphasizing the lack. This is again law of attraction. When you're thinking about, this isn't working for me, this strategy is not working for me, why are clients not coming, why am I having a dry spell in my business? Now, if you're looking at it from a full data point of view, where you're like, okay, I'm having a dry spell, I should change something, or I should keep going with the same strategy for a little long enough before I decide to change something. Those are okay thoughts. Those are good thoughts to have. It's analysis. But when you make that mean something about you, when you say, why is this not working? What's wrong with me? Or you might not say it, but you might subconsciously feel like, oh my God, like what am I doing wrong? What is not working out for me? Why is this not working out for me? When you say these things, you're actually insinuating that it's you, that you're the problem, that you're broken, that there's something wrong with you. And that energy is not going to bring in more abundance or clients, because you're telling the universe that I need to fix something before I can even accept the abundance that you're going to provide for me. What if you don't need to fix anything? What if you're the perfect version right now to accept all this abundance that is coming to you? And what if you just need to believe that for a little longer? Because having faith is about believing without evidence, and maybe you just need to believe that for a little longer. So keep believing. Even when there are no results, keep believing that it's going to work, that it will work, until you've given it a good enough shot for, like, let's say 3 to 6 months, and then you see that it's not working. But have you really given it 100% shot? Have you really sold that offer every single day? Have you really spoken about it on repeat to tell yourself that, yeah, I've given myself 100% shot, and so now I want to try something different? Because that's where we all fail. We don't give ourselves the chance to see a strategy through. 3 to 6 months is a good amount of time to see, to give yourself that chance to talk about it again and again on repeat consistently. Because when you do that, it's not just for people to understand what you're doing, but it's also for you to truly understand and get clear on your dharma and what you're offering to the world. The more you talk about it, the more clear it gets in your mind. And the more clear it is in your mind, the more specific your content and the more clean and pure your energy, because you know exactly what you're calling people into, right? And then you can trust yourself more than any coach. You can trust yourself more than any coach. Your self trust is way too potent. If a coach is out here telling you, this is something that's going to work, I want you to do this freebie, I want you to do this. If it doesn't feel alive for you, or if you're like, I feel like my energy is something that sells for me and I want to do this other strategy, do it. You know yourself better than any other coach out there knows you. So if you know yourself better, listen to the voices coming from within. But it's also important to differentiate and know that it's not coming from fear. A lot of times my clients tell me, I don't know if it's aligned. But they say, I don't know if it's aligned, to kind of avoid doing the hard work, to avoid putting content out there, to avoid talking about their offers, to avoid showing up on Instagram, which is one of the most beautiful platforms that we can use today to actually sell our talents, our gifts, right? So it's really important to know the differentiating factor between it's not aligned versus I'm just scared as shit to do this. Because when you're feeling scared, you will feel contraction in your body. You will start having the fear coming up. But when you feel aligned, when something really feels aligned for you, you will feel, you might still feel scared, but it will feel expansive in your body. You will start feeling like this feels right. I feel like there's something there. And that's your sign to just take a bet on it and to see it through. Right? And it takes time. That's the thing. It takes 3 to 6 months to see something through. But that's what business building is. We're not here to rush the process. We're not rushing. There is no finish line. We're here to see things through, and we're here to learn from our own lived experiences, because your lived experience becomes your gold mine. People pay you for your lived experiences. So invest in your lived experiences. Allow yourselves to see things through. Invest in your mindset. Invest in your growth. Your energy is blocking your sales because you think you have an energy problem even after doing deep inner work. As I said in the beginning of this, this episode, I always felt like there was something wrong with me. And I think that's what was blocking me. I worked with an energy healer coming from a place of there is something wrong with me. Like, I need to shift my energy. I don't think my energy is attracting the right clients. There's something wrong with my energy. Do I have daddy issues? What's going on? I mean, honestly, I feel like it's really not that deep. Again, a very controversial thing. I think sometimes thinking that we have daddy issues is what's blocking us, or thinking we have problems and we're broken is what's blocking us from more things coming into your life. I did a whole training on dad and money because I thought I had an unhealthy relationship of abandonment, and that's why I had a bad relationship with money. But I don't think that was true. I honestly think I have a great relationship with money. I have an extremely healthy relationship with money. It's just that I started seeing all these Instagram reels and I was like, oh, maybe I have an issue with money too. But I didn't. And I know that now, which is why I'm saying that you don't have to psychoanalyze everything. It's not all that deep. It's more about believing in yourself when there's no evidence, and going all the way through being obsessed with what you're creating and selling it every single day. You cannot be fully healed to make money. Like, you cannot be thinking that you need to be fully healed to make money. My reel yesterday, right? I spoke about how a lot of times what's blocking us is the need to be fully healed. We'll never be fully healed. These are never ending processes in our life. It's a journey, it's an evolution. You can make money today. You can have that sale today. You can sell your offer today. You can literally get a client for your mastermind today if you truly believe that. If you truly believe that you are in the place to take care of that client and her business, to take care of her life, to give and have the capacity to hold more. And when you have the capacity to hold more, when you're not stressing, when you don't think you're broken, when you don't think that everything's going wrong in your life, when you're at peace, when you're in your feminine, when you're able to relax into being in the present moment, that's when you increase your capacity for more abundance to come in, which is why the feminine energy is so powerful. You cannot be hustling 24/7 expecting something to come in. Things can still come in, but if you don't have the capacity to hold, then God's probably teaching you by sending you more success, teaching you that you cannot hold all the success because you're so burnt out, you're so exhausted with hustling 24/7, which is why the feminine comes in, where you need to just stop hustling for a bit and relaxing to receive and hold that capacity for the next client, for the next person to come into your life. Even in relationships, like, this is how relationships work too. Business and relationships have insane amounts of parallels, by the way. Okay, and the next one is that you don't have a money block. You don't have a money block. Look all around you. Look all around you. Look at the abundance. Okay, go for a walk in the park. Look at the amount of greenery. Look at the amount of trees. Look at the amount of butterflies. Like, you do not have a lack issue. You do not have a scarcity issue. There is abundance all around you. It's just that you're not recognizing it. Look all around you. Recognize the abundance. There is abundance. You are an abundant being. You deserve abundance. So a lot of times we think we have a money block, or we have like a scarcity issue, but we just fail to recognize how much has been given to us. And so gratitude journaling, or even just looking around you and noticing the abundance, accounting the blessings, really helps to increase your capacity to help you relax more, because it puts your nervous system into the parasympathetic mode, which is relaxation. When you realize I'm safe, I'm provided for, the universe is providing for me, feminine energy, right? You feel more safe to receive more. So I want to say this because this was a mindset block I had in the beginning of the year, where I thought I had a money issue, where I thought I had a bad relationship with money, which was not true again, right? So not everything needs to be psychoanalyzed. Some things just are, and it's okay to not reflect on everything in your life. Not everything needs reflecting, it will come in the moment. It's important to reflect 100%. But psychoanalyzing and overthinking everything is not helpful at all. It's going to block you from taking the aligned action in your business, because overthinking doesn't ever help anyone. Think and then stop and be like, okay, let's see. God's providing for me. I'll know the answers when I need to know the answers. Maybe I don't have the answer today, and that's completely okay. When you really trust in God, all of this just gets a lot easier. I used to be a huge overthinker, but because of how much I have been able to surrender to God and how much I'm able to give to God and give to the relationship I have with God, I just could not care less. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, say things are not working and you want to figure it out, but you don't have to figure it out in the moment. I tried to figure it out this year and I could not figure it out. I did not have a reason. I was like, the only three reasons that something is probably not working on my business is because my energy is off, my strategy is off, or it's karmic and I'm learning a lesson in all of these things. And it could be any of that. To be honest, I don't even know which one it was, when it was, because I've invested in an energetic healer, I've invested in a strategic sales coach, and the karmic thing is kind of out of my control. So I'm just gonna, let it go and instead trust and not have a timeline for myself and not put the pressure to be earning ASAP, but rather knowing that I could earn right now. I have it all in me. I have the capacity to hold another client. I have the capacity to make another sale. I know that. So it's all about having that mindset every single day and being consistent. And I think that's the hardest thing to do as an entrepreneur, but it's also the most important thing, is to hold that belief, when there is no evidence, when things are not moving in your world, when clients are not coming, when abundance is not coming. How can you hold that belief? Is by connecting to God within you, is by building that deep relationship with God, knowing it is all actually working out for you, even in the moments where it's not moving for you, right? Even when there's no movement, it's all actually working out for you. There is abundance even in the lack. And then staying in the wrong relationship and being around the wrong people drains your life force energy, and that bleeds into every area of your life. So leave as soon as possible, because life only gets better. Now, what I mean by this is I broke up this year and I went through a very, I don't know, a very transformational period after the breakup. I was so light and I was so happy for months. And I mean, of course, even up till now, but when I was in that relationship, even though it wasn't a bad relationship, it seemed to be really rosy from the outside. It was internally, I felt kind of like, I know this is off, but I don't have the courage to get out of this. You know, that feeling where you are in something and you just know it's off. And you, at that point of time, need to make a decision to get out. I don't care if it doesn't make logical sense. If this person seems like the most perfect person in the world and he ticks all your boxes, I don't care. If it feels off in your body, it is off. Get out right now, ASAP, please. Because when you don't, and when you're in something that's actually draining your life force energy, and you know it's off and you know it feels weird, you're actually stopping the abundance from coming into your life. You're actually saying, I'm okay with this uneasy feeling. I'm okay with this, I don't even know, this contraction. I'm okay with it. And you're telling God that, you're okay with this standard in your life, and just not feeling authentically yourself. Because what happens is, when you stay in something that you know is not meant for you, you're not living your highest version. You're not authentically yourself. You're lying to yourself by giving yourself reasons that you should stay when you should probably be leaving, right? You're lying to yourself. You're not being your most authentic version. And when you're not authentic, there's a part of you that's shaming yourself. And that energy blocks, it blocks abundance coming in. Our most authentic version is the most magnetic version. Our most authentic version is the most magnetic version. What does magnetic mean? Magnetic means what is a magnet? It attracts, right? So when you're the most authentic version, when you stop shaming yourself and you accept all of you, the shadow work, even the darker sides of yourself, you actually become a magnet in the universe. You attract so much more towards you, so much abundance towards you, so much luck towards you when you're magnetic and when you fully accept yourself. And when you have serious conversations with yourself and you listen to your intuition, right? So now we're going to 11. I think this is 11. Yeah. The 11th lesson to myself is, you hold so much power. Your ancestors are betting on you. You're breaking generational cycles. You're brave as fuck. You can do anything. This year, I traveled across the globe solo for a 2-day event in Denver, Colorado to meet my coach for Living Brave Life. And on the second day, Katya Nova, who's this other brilliant coach, did a kind of future self hypnosis on all of us. And while she did this future self hypnosis, I sat there in a room with 1,000 other extremely brilliant women and I started crying. And I don't cry that easily, and I don't cry a lot in public. I love crying alone. I don't cry a lot in public. But I sat there and I started crying in a room of 1,000 women, and I could hear other women crying around me, and the whole room was sobbing. We were all crying and crying and crying, and I was trying to stop it, and I was like allowing myself to feel it. But when the meditation was over, when the hypnosis was over, and I was out, trust me, I could not stop crying. Like it felt like I switched on something and I could not switch it off. I did not know how to switch it off. I could not stop crying. And I'm sitting in that room and I'm like trying to stop crying. And I'm just like, why am I not able to stop crying? And then there's this beautiful woman, Lisa, right next to me. Again, a woman of color, because we were in America and very few of us were women of colors. Very few of us were from, actually, I was the only one from India who traveled all the way from India, which is crazy to me. But, anyways, I love the fact that I felt like being the first Indian traveling from India, it made me feel like that leader. Like I go first. And I love that and I'm proud of that. But when I was there and when I was crying, this woman like next to me looked at me and she said, I'm here, I see you, and I'm holding you, and I see you. And she looked into my eye and I felt like she saw my soul, and I was so naked and bare in that room. I don't know. It felt like I felt the pain of my ancestors. I felt a lot of pain in that moment. I was crying because of the pain. I felt suppression. I felt fear, anger. I felt a lot of anger. I felt anger, suppression, fear. I feel like I'm still processing this. So I don't know, but it was a lot of fear and anger and suppression, and it wasn't just mine. It can't just be mine. It wasn't just this lifetime. It was probably my past lives. It was probably my ancestors' lifetimes. It was probably the woman who came before me. And in that moment when I cried, I saw myself releasing the suppression, the anger of being brave enough, of claiming what is mine, and showing up as this powerful force of nature in my life and for the women who come after me and for the women of this world. And that moment, that moment was the most powerful moment of 2025 for me. What I just shared with you, that was the most powerful moment of 2025. That happened after future self hypnosis. I truly saw my future version. I believe in future work so much. If you come into my coaching containers, you will see that I connect you so deeply with your future version. You can feel her. And then you start feeling her every day and you bring her into your life every day so that you can live your highest potential. Your future self knows everything. She's always here guiding you, right? So that was a reminder. And that moment I realized that I released, I don't know how much, I don't know what, but I felt like I released some ancestral weight and trauma in that moment. And lastly, as long as you're clear with your dharma, as long as you're clear why you started this business, why you started this beautiful legacy in the first place, your business will flow. But make concrete decisions. The worst thing you can do is being in this waiting period or in this not making a decision. That's the worst thing you can do, is just not making a decision. So make a concrete decision and go all in. There is no point being half in and half out. When you decide on a coach, when you decide on an investment, tell yourself that you are someone who gets a return of investment from everything, from every container, right? From every place you put from every room you put yourself into. I got one of my longest working clients with me this year in a room that I went to in Bangalore. I went for a meditation session in Copper and Clove, and that's where I met my client. And I had no intentions of selling. I had no intentions of pitching. I was just myself. So you need to, your identity is the person who sells. Your identity is the person who attracts. Your identity is the person who knows her worth. Your identity is the person who knows her value. Your identity is the person who is so clear with her dharma and why she started this business in the first place, because that clarity translates into the clarity in your offers and what you give to people. It translates into the aliveness you feel when you speak about your offers every single day, which is why clarity in your dharma, dharmic clarity, is so, so important. And those are the 12 lessons from 2025. I'm going to take all this with me into 2026. I want to, in 2026, become heavily known for one thing, and that is my dharmic clarity. That is my uniquely yours method. I want to be known for helping people feel alive, falling in love with their business and creating from their soul. I want to be known for the ripple effect impact of impacting you and then you impacting more and more people. But 2025 was so hard, so challenging, and so eye-opening. I know exactly what I want to do in 2026. I know exactly what I want to focus on. And I know that I'm not going to be doing a lot of things. I'm telling you this right now. I'm not going to be doing a lot in 2026. I'm going to be doing very, very few things, but I'm going to be doing them very, very well. I'm going to be doing very few things very well in 2026. Well, that was a hell of an episode. I absolutely loved sharing my heart with you. Thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for listening. Please DM me at Purpose with Pratna if you have any questions or if you want to share your 2025 lessons with me. I'd love to hear them. You're listening to Rebel with a Purpose, and I'm Pratna, signing off.